Here comes the big one. Ming-Chi Kuo, the only Apple analyst that ever gets anything right. He says that a 16-inch MacBook Pro, it's on the horizon. And this could be the most exciting piece of technology that Apple releases all year long. It could also be the most disappointing piece of crap that Apple releases all year long. Now, I forgot to mention that according to the report, this MacBook Pro is supposed to have an all new redesign with a 16-inch screen. I'm guessing it's gonna be a 15-inch form factor, just like the one we have today, but with a liquid retina display that has the rounded corners in the edges. That's all great, that's fine. I'm on board with that. And I'm hoping that Apple takes this opportunity to make the MacBook Pro again. Ooh, savage! So here's my list of the 8 things Apple better get right in the brand new secret 2019 16-inch MacBook Pro. And so help me God above, Tim Cook, you better not f this up. Okay, here we go. Number 1, a modern GPU and CPU. I know, is it too much to ask? I don't want a chip from 2 years ago. I don't want a chip from 1 year ago. I don't want a chip from 3 months ago. This better be a chip that Intel has secretly been designing, and it's coming out 6 months after the new MacBook Pro comes out. And I'm not just talking about CPU, but GPU. Dear Lord, help me. Apple, please put a powerful GPU in the MacBook Pro. This is the machine that your pros are using to edit videos, to edit photos, to be creative on the go. These are their on-the-fly production machines. We need the absolute best, most powerful GPU and CPU in this computer if you want us to take it seriously. Number 2, and this goes along with the CPU, this machine, it better have thermals that are colder than ice. And I'm talking Samuel L. Jackson in Pulp Fiction, cold mother. Look, I'm all on board for thin and light laptops, but not at the expense of thermal performance. If you put another chip in here, like the i9 debacle, and the chip has to run below its base clock speed because the computer is simply not able to cool the chip, I'm getting a Dell, that's it. I'm writing it off, I'm getting a Dell. I'm not really gonna get a Dell, but you know what? I'm gonna complain about it a lot more on my YouTube channel, and then I'll probably just give you the money anyway, but I'm not gonna be happy about it. I want the GPU, I want the CPU, I want those mofos overclocked. You're gonna put a 3.5 gigahertz chip in that computer, I want it running at 7.7 gigahertz. That's how good I expect this MacBook Pro to be at cooling the GPU and CPU. None of this underclocking nonsense. None of this, oh, I gotta put my MacBook Pro in the freezer because I'm rendering a video. Don't you dare give us another Pro machine that's thin and light where the CPU and the GPU cannot run at full potential because the MacBook Pro is unable to actually cool them, Tim.
Can I get an amen? Yes.
I don't care if the MacBook Pro is thicker, I don't care if it's bigger, I don't care if it's heavier. I want a professional grade GPU and CPU cooling experience, and I want them running at absolute maximum capacity. Number 3, Tim, look into my eyes, Tim. The keyboard on this MacBook Pro, it better be perfect. And I mean perfect. None of this typing on glass experience, none of this keyboard breaking every other day nonsense. I don't want to have keys sticking. I don't want to have keys stuck in. I don't want to have keystrokes getting missed. I want to have a perfect Eros-filled keyboard experience where I'm just typing on it and my nips are at full mast because that keyboard experience, it's just glorious. And every key is hitting its mark every single time. You cannot be having keyboard issues on a computer that costs over $3,000. Is anyone still here? Okay, I'm gonna continue. I also don't like the typing sensation on the butterfly mechanisms. Please give us some more space. Hike the keys up just a little bit more. I feel like I'm typing on a software keyboard, Tim. Just give me like a millimeter more space. Give me a little bit of cushion for the pushing. Come on, Tim. Number 4, as long as we're talking about input methods, please fix the trackpad. Look, I like the trackpad a lot. It's one of my favorite input devices of all time. But the trackpad is constantly registering touches that I didn't actually intend to make. It thinks my hand is a touch. It thinks my palm is a touch. It thinks my elbow is a touch. I have my cursor jumping all around in Final Cut Pro and Logic, and it drives me wild. I need my trackpad to be a precise piece of machinery. It needs to be like an abacus, Tim. Tighten it up. tighten it up. I want it high and tight. No more registering touches that weren't actually there. No more false clicks that I didn't actually want to make. That thing needs to be sharp as a tack. It needs to look like Tom Cruise at the Oscars. I'm not totally sure what that means, but think polished. It needs to be polished. Clean up your act, Tim. Oh, here we go. Here we go. You want to get real here? I'm talking practical ports, Tim, not just 4 USB-C Thunderbolt 3 ports. I want USB-A. I want an SD card slot. You need to give us the practical ports that your pros actually need and use day in and day out so we don't have to carry dongles everywhere we go. These machines are meant for portable productivity, and we need to be able to plug in all of our accessories without having to carry around dongles. It's not like I'm asking you to add on FireWire 800. Oh, here we go. It's about to get real. Look, I'm not gonna yell at you about this. Let's just be real. You're building this MacBook Pro new from the ground up. Can we fix the touch bar? Tell us what it's supposed to do. Give us a vision for the touch bar. Make the touch bar useful or just yank it. It was an experiment. I get it. It actually looked like it had a lot of potential. But here we are 3 years later and it still just doesn't really do anything for us. I have never met a single person that actually uses a touch bar with any type of consistency. So, if we're not gonna be using the touch bar, let's replace it with some actual hardware keys that we all know and we all love and we'll actually all use. And then, poof, we can drop the price of the MacBook Pro, what? $250, $300, because you won't be including a piece of technology that no one wants and no one actually uses. I know, I'm just trying to keep it real. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to help you give us the machine I know that you want to make. Okay, finally, we need to talk about the Touch ID. Look, I love Touch ID, but it's time to move on. We've got Face ID on every other device that you sell. Get rid of Touch ID. It's not even really that useful on the Mac anyway. All you can do is use it to unlock your computer. Let's scratch the touch bar. Let's scratch the Touch ID. Boom, baby. Face ID. That's a useful, practical feature that everyone will love, everyone will use. I know that you're probably gonna put Touch ID on this next MacBook Pro anyway. It's only a matter of time, but please, Lord, let this be the model where we do away with Touch ID and move into the future. What number am I on? I have no idea, but I think this is the last one. Oh, baby. Now look, Tim, I know that you like to charge $10,000 to $15,000 for your Pro machines, but I'm getting a little bit worried. If you are indeed getting ready to make this MacBook Pro again, I'm worried that you're gonna charge $5,000 for the base unit with 128 gig SSD. Don't do it, Tim. Resist the temptation. Now look, I know there are people out there that would pay you $5,000 for a MacBook Pro with 128 gigabyte SSD. I'm not one of those people, and if you go that route, you're going to exclude a ton of pros and you're gonna start to lose your core audience. You need to price this thing aggressively. It needs to be priced fairly. I'm thinking maybe a $3,000 starting price, which is what, $400 more than your current 15-inch MacBook Pro. Now look, I'm not a marketing genius, I'm just an ordinary guy, but I've got my fingers on the pulse of the Apple community, and I'm telling you, if you price this thing much more than $3,000, maybe $3,500, you're gonna have a mutiny on your hands. People are gonna be coming to Infinite Loop, they're gonna have torches, they're gonna have pitchforks, and they're gonna be looking for you, Tim. And don't think that hiding under Johnny Ive's desk in the Industrial Design Lab is gonna keep you safe, because we have blueprints, Tim. We have blueprints. There you have it, my 8 things that Apple has got to get right on the 16-inch MacBook Pro. I hope you enjoyed this 10 minutes of me yelling about Apple products. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I've got hands-on videos on the way. I've got tech reviews on the way. You'll notice that I just hit 4,000 subscribers. I'm on my way up. Help me overtake PewDiePie and T-Series. We're only like 90,995,000 subs away, but I know working together, we can do it. My name's Erfon Elijah, Gadget Hunter. And I'll see you guys next time.
Y me llama el cocinero. Risita, ¿qué? Ve por la paellera. Venga, que las 2 de la tarde ya están aquí. Miren, bañador. En las chanclas. Todo despeinado porque no me dio tiempo nada ponerme las chanclas y el bañador. Voy a la playa, ya subió la marea. ¿Y tú?